Baki Rahan has without a doubt been an amazing manga so far. However, the current fight, Jack Hanma vs Pickle Round 3, has been disappointing for many Baki fans. Here is why. People waiting for Pickle's various hacks, such as his insane speed he demonstrated against Jack during his original arc, where he was hit, bounce back, appear again, hit, bounce back, appear again, in a way where Jack didn't even know what was going on, alongside his kinda dashing technique he tends to use in all of his fights. People are also waiting for his final form, as I've mentioned in every review video, something the Dino Boy tends to pull out when he's pushed in a corner. For example, after getting beat up by Baki quite a bit in their fight, and when he was getting clapped by Masashi Miyamoto. Based on what's happened to him so far in the Jack rematch, you would kinda think he would have pulled it out by now. He hasn't been able to do really anything apart from these scratches and this pretty impressive cut in the recent chapter, but nothing insane when considering how Jack has been impacted by these attacks, virtually in no way as confirmed in the most recent chapter, and people just being over Pickle standing there and really doing nothing. This is kinda a misinterpretation for the fight. Since the very beginning, Pickle has been going for attacks, but the way Jack is fighting is preventing him from landing anything major, focusing on various counterattacks, and now his well-placed Gaodao bites that are slowly whittling Pickle down. People are still mentioning the aspect of Pickle being nerfed. This could be Jack just got much stronger than what he was compared to the past, while Pickle has potentially stayed stagnant, but people screaming that he's nerfed is going to be a common theme regardless. And to expand on that, it likely connects to Pickle being many people's favourite character. Of course, he's not as popular as the likes of Jack and Yujiro when it comes to the fandom, but the Dino Boy is still without a doubt one of the most interesting and unique characters ever introduced to Baki, with a very large fan base, particularly with the anime season introducing him being a recent memory for many people, where he had an absolutely crazy performance. Something I broke down in this video on the second channel, Mysterious Chad, a place with additional Baki content for everyone to enjoy. Check it out, link at the top of the description. Therefore, people watching their favourite character get destroyed in such a way would make the fight seem very disappointing for them on a personal level, and that is a common thing I've seen throughout the Baki fandom. Others mention they want Pickle to be more aggressive, they want Pickle to be more dominant like he was in the past, how his portrayal was at every other point in the series, even in fights where he was dominated like against Masashi and Baki. He had very impressive showings in those fights, and at one point almost knocked out the legendary samurai. While comparing it to this fight, he hasn't done really anything to Jack of note, or even close to that caliber. That now connects to people's expectations going into this fight. Pickle hasn't faced anyone since Masashi Miyamoto, which for us manga readers has been many years. And then when he was finally reintroduced to the story in the final chapter of Baki Dao, or the Suma arc, we got to see a new design, and hype for Pickle went through the roof. We begin Baki Rahan, we got a few chapters starting this arc with new Jack reveals in some of Jack's first fights. And then Pickle returned, not really looking like his new portrayed design in that other chapter, kinda going back to his old form, at least design wise. Many people complaining about Jack being taller than him, which is a silly reason to complain about, as we've been told why many times. The cyborg is willing to do anything to gain power, whether this be his copious amounts of steroids, height lengthening surgery, and now he's looked down upon martial art, Gaodao, which focuses on biting. Jack using other means to get taller doesn't really make Pickle look bad in any way. We then had their initial exchange in the story, which was beyond hype. We saw what Jack wanted to do against Pickle, which on reflection he is definitely succeeding in. We had Hanayama get reintroduced, have an interaction with Pickle, and set up a possible fight between him and Jack, something that was reconfirmed in the most recent chapter, which I broke down in this video. Very important to check out. And apart from that, right before the official beginning of the fight, we see Pickle speak for the first time in the series. It's not confirmed whether or not he has some type of understanding, but the fact that he's reached this level is honestly next level. And another aspect when it comes to the evolution of Pickle, resulting in some people to be disappointed, is how during his arc we had little instances of Pickle using techniques adapting more and more to modern martial arts, something I wish would be enhanced and I guess brought back again for Pickle in this fight. It can still happen, but it's not really looking like that would be the case. Alongside Pickle's overall fighting style, when he had his previous fight in the series, he had, I guess, moves to a sense, such as his charge, various strikes, like the way he took out Jack in the previous fights, but this time to a sense he's not really doing any of that. Yes, it's somewhat connected to Jack countering him, but still it's a clear change and issue for many people. I also get a sense, due to Jack being such a popular character, even on this channel myself, I've been glazing Jack for years, him having such a dominating force and this being peak for many of us Jack fans, has made the Pickle fans or Jack haters even more pissed with what's going on, at least potentially. However, with all this said, when looking at the poll I posted a few days ago, more people consider this a peak fight rather than disappointing, with a majority going in the average or amazing so far. But considering 44% of you said this fight was average, you could argue it is disappointing based on expectations for the third fight between Jack and Pickle, something that had next level hype going behind it, considering Jack vs Pickle's first clash was one of the best fights in the entire Baki series. I'm guessing for a lot of you guys, personally it may be my #1 fight in all of Baki. There's other great ones such as Hanayama vs Spec and of course the Yujiro vs Baki clash, which should probably be #1 for various other reasons, but Jack vs Pickle will always be goated and is exactly what people wanted for this rematch. Now let's have a look at the broader Baki community to see if this sentiment is agreed on by the Reddit community. 83,000 members. I posted this same poll from my channel here and this is what the top comment says. Amazing so far, pretty good fight, but I can't help but feel a little disappointed. So without considering specifics, he says it's amazing, but based on what we should have got or could have got, he is disappointed and 100+ people agree with that. Pickle doesn't seem nearly as strong, a common point. He provided more resistance in the fight against Baki where he went 100%, that is true as well, likewise in the Masashi fight. Speaking on going 100%, I hope Pickle goes final form soon, as that's one of the main reasons this fight would be amazing if it did happen, and I completely agree, that's something that could save it. But with all that said, the fight is still going on. We don't know how long the fight is going to go for. Baki's pacing when it comes to the manga can often be all over the place. This could be a 20+ chapter fight for all we know, and that is why to many instances binge reading Baki is a much better experience, at least compared to reading it as chapters release, which often can be quite some time. This is the current date of the next chapter. This video is something you should check out after this, and shout out to these members.